Hi everyone! Today we're pulling out all of our supplies for a fun adventure in floral illustration. First of all, we're going to take some of our watercolors and mix up some bright, warm tones for our flowers today. I'm using a Winsor & Newton half pan set that I purchased recently, and actually this is my first grown-up set of watercolors, so I'm really enjoying experimenting with it. And then we're going to jump right in with our micron pens and just do some random curvy lines around the perimeter of some of these color shapes and draw those in. They'll end up being somewhat leaf looking when we're done, but they were just fun. I wasn't quite sure where I was going with this one, and this was a good start. So then I'm going to go back and start filling in each of those colors with different sorts of flowers. I really had fun just experimenting with shapes and lines and different sorts of floral patterns. That I've learned after doing a number of these is to try to vary the scale of your flowers. You don't want all of your flowers to be large and you don't want them all to be small. So it's good to have some focal points. I feel like those red flowers are kind of the focal points for this one. And then the gold areas have more of a medium-sized flower, and then you saw the little circles there in the upper right. And we'll add a few other smaller features as we go along here. And one of the things that's funny, I've noticed, I don't know if you saw my left hand sit there and start fidgeting. That's apparently my new thing to do when I'm thinking, and you'll see me do it several times in this video. I had not noticed that before, so I thought that was kind of interesting. When I'm thinking about what to do next, that thumb and forefinger will start rubbing together for a little bit until I decide what to do. And now we're starting to add some details in. I'm trying to put a little detail around the centers and add some line drawing around some of those flowers. And now I decided I thought I needed some white accents, and I'm not quite sure what these are. After I got them on there, I started having a little bit of regret about that, and you'll see later on where I try to fix it. I do like the contrast of having dark and light, and so I wanted to add some white, but I think I need to be better about going all in once I decide to add it. I was really pleased that I decided to color these in black. I hadn't figured that out till actually put the pen to paper, but I think they really bring a little bit of depth to a drawing that was looking a little bit flat before I did this part. One thing I want to work on with these sorts of illustrations is I just go in and add flowers and lines and leaves and that sort of thing without really thinking too much about what is in the front and what is in the back. And I think once this is finished, it's a little bit confusing to see quite where things are supposed to be in the picture. And here I've been playing around with some new camera angles too, so I like doing the up close. I need to add more of that to my videos, I think. And you can see I've brought out the colored gel pens too to add some details to some of these. And now I'm going back in trying to think about shadows and extra depth to some of these. I think my favorite part of this was adding these leaves around the outer edge. I love doing these sorts of line drawings, and I really like the way this part turned out on this one. Another thing I want to do in future paintings like this is commit to the whole piece of paper. I really wish I'd taken that paint all the way to the edge and just filled in the whole piece of paper with color and lines. making these because they're fun and we learn something new with each one. Listen, if you're enjoying this, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every Wednesday. Sometimes it's flowers, sometimes mandalas. You just are never quite sure what you're going to get, but it's going to be some sort of art process video. I really have fun making these, and I learned something with each one, and I hope I'm able to share that and that you learned something too. If you decide to have a go at any of these, even adapting them, I sure would love to hear from you. You can leave a comment below or go over to my channel page and look in the About section, and there you'll find an email address, and you can just send me an email along with a link to your picture. I'd love to see it. Try to make sense out of these few little white lines I had. I just committed to some more, and I did like the way that once I got going I put it over the top of the flowers around it. I think that helped a little. We're going to add a little bit of highlight to these flowers. They were sitting a little flat compared to the others. Have our finished floral illustration. Thanks so much for joining me today. I put out a new video every Wednesday. I'd love for you to subscribe and click that bell so you can join me.